Welcome back, everybody, to today's reading. Today's reading is going to be a pick a card, but today I'm going to just use the pictures of whatever cards come out, and that can be our group choices. So group one will be the Nine of Wands. Okay, group two will be the Five of Swords. And we're doing 4 groups. Okay, cool. So group 3 will be Strength, and group 4 will be the Eight of Cups. So you can take a moment to choose whichever group you feel the most drawn to. Timestamps are in the description box, and we'll get started with group 1. Oh, man. All right. Okay, welcome in group 1 if you chose the Nine of Wands, and this will be your group reading today. It's going to be who is scrutinizing you. So the first thing that I was getting here is that there's like, this person is unbalanced or imbalanced in some way and heading in the wrong direction. And there is definitely a potential that they could have a strong Cancer energy at this time, but I think they feel jaded, or like they have suffered at the hand of I don't know, it's like they are feeling like they have been abused, which is kind of weird to feel it and not know that, although I realize sometimes things can be quite nuanced, especially when people don't really understand a scenario that has played out here. So what I would say to this, because the person, like when I'm looking, like the energy I'm picking up off of the cards is very much like they really have actually experienced something not good. So there definitely is something that's happened. Whether it's relative or linked to you is totally different and separate. I actually get that this person has a problem keeping themselves and their feelings separate from something to do with you. So I don't know if there's something that you have said, something that you've taught, like, well, it's the same thing, right? So there's been a conversation here. There's something that you have said, whether this is actually a conversation between you and them, you and other people, and it's like gotten back to them, or they've kind of heard it through the grapevine. Or if you are also a person who has, you're putting out content on a platform, some sort of social media, that could also be something as well. I mean, it doesn't even matter at this rate. It really could even just be like if you were blogging and typing something. No, I'm getting corrected. It is definitely something that's been said, like actually words spoken. Okay, so words are spoken that have hurt this person's feelings really badly. They're having trouble keeping you and something you've said separate from some type of like trigger or past traumatic experience. I think that they're putting you in the same box. And I don't know, man, I'm not here to downplay people's traumatic experiences, especially like, I realize that it seems to happen more often than not, where there are people that come into any given group that could be on either side of it, right? So if you are on that side of it, the point is not to put down like a past traumatic experience, but there is something here where it's like you may still be so caught up in it, or something, even if it's not like technically having a triggered response. There could be something here where it's like the significance or the severity or the seriousness of what you kind of experienced, or the suffering that you experienced because of whatever it was that happened that this person said that's triggered you. It's like you maybe haven't surfaced out of it yet in a way where you can kind of get back to normal conversations, or you can kind of have light, fun banter without something being, taken the wrong way or misunderstood or misconstrued in some way. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say which side of this that you would be on, but I feel like it's probably both people here. So, moving forward, I'm going to stick to like the first sort of, side of this that I was getting, where it's like, yeah, you have said something, somebody has taken it, I don't know if it's like to heart or wearing their heart on their sleeve. So it's like very much, it feels like this person could be looking over their shoulder, trying to protect themselves in some way. It could be a little bit of like an ego protection. And when I say that, I don't mean it as in, there's a lot of times where we just like throw these words around that have a lot of negative connotation attached to it. Everyone has the ego, and the ego's job is to protect us. And especially when we've been through something that has been really bad, whatever that is for you, it's like our ego, like we may not be particularly egotistical people. We may not be out throwing money around for the sake of, the attention or the look how much I have or anything like that. It could be something quite simple where it's very much like, you're invalidating my experience, and that is not okay. And it could be linked to something as simple as people who have invalidated my experience in the past or been dismissive in some way have actually been the same people who have gaslit me to my face. Okay, so there's sort of something here. It's like their response is still quite valid through the lens of life that they have lived. And it's kind of like a misunderstanding on both sides of the coin here, because it's like, you as a person who's said something, who has no idea, didn't mean it to affect this person in this way, and then they're going to respond to you out of this almost like emotional or rage fueled place, or a place of like protectiveness, like wanting to not only protect themselves, potentially their ego, but other people as well who may have been I guess considered like a victim or suffering in some way. It's like it gives me an energy of, you haven't really done anything wrong, you've just said something, and they've like lashed out of whatever this place is. And so you're kind of receiving this feedback from this very like jacked up emotional space. And when that happens, you may be taking it personally. You may be taking it as like a serious critique of your work or what it is that you've said or discussed, like your point of view or opinion in some way. Or it could be like, for those of you who are in a seat of putting information out to the world, you could even be confused as to, this person being angry at you, thinking of them as a supporter, or they genuinely could be a supporter of you. And so you could be giving it more weight than it really needs. There are times where we can get genuine feedback, and it is like, it should be up for consideration, or like, at least if you're open to the idea of, wanting that feedback and wanting to improve in a way that you see fit, and it matches with what you like already kind of align with, and you take an honest look at yourself and you're like, yeah, I could kind of work on that, and that's actually helpful for me. Thank you for my long-term improvement. That's great. I don't really feel like it's that energy. I feel like it's something that's like, maybe this particular situation was unwarranted. And that's okay. Like, people make mistakes. They're operating throughout the lens that they have lived their life in. We're not always so self-aware. We all have moments and make mistakes, or maybe we're feeling particularly kind of righteous that day, and it's maybe not like our normal self that we would show up every day of the week. So yeah, there's a lot of factors at play here. And then it's sort of like, if the shoe is on the other foot and you are this person that has suffered some sort of experience that has left you, like operating this way in the world, it very much can be like the strong driving factor to want to, better the world, protect other people, but to try to stamp down the things that can kind of threaten that, or generalize things, or elicit like complicitness. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So like, other people may not necessarily be like committing the crime, but they're kind of like the bystander who like doesn't interfere energy. And so that I understand, could be quite aggravating, or could potentially put you in more of an emotional space, or I'm starting to feel my heart well up, right? So definitely stuff here on both sides, that there's like a disconnect, there's a misunderstanding. I'm getting like it's just very much two different sides of the coin, and it's hard to meet in the middle when we don't have any experience, of what that would really be like. And also there's something that like I feel like there's like a relative experience to how recent something is or has like happened. So maybe 5 years ago you went through something really traumatic. Let's pretend it's for you, this person who has like spoken something that somebody has kind of taken to heart or taken offense to, or lashed back out at you in some way. Maybe 5 years ago you went through like a really traumatic experience, and at the time it was like truly terrible, and when you were going through it maybe you would have reacted the same way. But maybe now that you're kind of out of it and past that and on living life, and it's like your life is good again, and it's all like, kind of light and easy, light and bubbly, whatever that looks like for you, just having a better time, not taking things so seriously, having fun, enjoying things. Sometimes maybe you just like take the piss a bit, I don't know. But like, it's like you're so far disconnected from, maybe whatever that feeling is, that it's like hard to really give it too much weight. And so the point of this group reading is not to necessarily like actually criticize either one side. It's really just to point out like the differences here. It's like, let's look at what has happened. We've done that, I feel like, from both sides. We looked at like objectively what's happened. Somebody said something, somebody's reacted back. We've looked at how that could kind of like affect both people. And it's like, yeah, we looked at like from, what maybe different types of experiences that could have shaped the way, like the lens in which people are looking through. And there's not really much more I can say to it. It's something to just maybe not be taken, I don't know. I'm like, who am I to say what the sort of ins and out of it are? I feel in this instance, for whatever, if you have a very specific situation in your mind and like if all of this so far has been like hitting and resonating for you, then I would say it's, there's a chance here that this time we may have like hit a little bit too hard if you're on that side of it, and maybe we didn't need to like kind of take it so seriously. Or maybe it is something for serious consideration, but maybe it's something that we could like wait on a little bit longer before we kind of clap back in some sort of way. So it's like something that we could take a bit of time to process, see how we feel, see if we, I don't know, sometimes like a little bit of time and space gives us just enough of a shift of perspective or a different sort of, it makes me think of people on the internet. It's like people on the internet, you don't know who's saying what, you don't know where it's coming from, what their agendas are. And I know that when I follow somebody on the internet, right, like I'm just like a subscriber or something of another YouTuber, I don't look at the comments, right? Unless it's like for a specific reason. Like let's say it was a tarot reader. I know some tarot readers post their timestamps in the comments, right? Other than that, I don't look at the comments. On the odd occasion, like most of the time, even if I do watch a live video, I'm not usually following comments, right? On the odd occasion, I'll follow comments, and I don't even keep up with it for most of it. It doesn't interest me, and I understand that for other people, they're kind of like really taking it in and they're immersed in their experience. But like whenever I see somebody put out like negative comments, or it's not even negative comments, right? Because everything is objective or subjective. It's subjective. That's what I'm trying to say. Everything is subjective. Someone can say that maybe you talk really slowly and you can subjectively take it as a negative, but it's just that person's like opinion, and that's okay. And there's lots of other YouTubers that talk really fast, so maybe they could go watch them. And maybe if they continue to watch you, you'll just continue to talk slowly. I don't know. But like so it's not really something that we need to be getting worked up about, and I understand there's different levels of how this plays out, right? So something like that's maybe not that bad. Sometimes other people kind of, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example, but I've just not got any because I don't really look at the comments. People just say shit that comes out of nowhere, and it like doesn't make sense. It's unmeasured. It's taken out of context. It's like almost got like a sort of, like people like trying to stir something. They're trying to start an argument, or they want attention, or like they're trying to make something someone else's problem, or they're trying to prosecute or persecute people for things that the person that's created the content, that, you know, depending what it is, like if it's just kind of like this and it's pretty genuine or, you know, innocent in intent and everything, if like it just like, I can't, why? I just don't have time for it, or don't have energy for it. Like, don't you have better things to do? Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and that's great too. But like, I think the whole purpose of me talking about this is because it's like, it's so much easier when we're watching through the lens of like somebody else being the person saying the thing and doing the thing, to realize how unfairly and just wildly, like, I don't even know what, like, next level things that people say that are like untrue and unnecessary. And I realized through looking at that lens at other people that just because that person says it doesn't mean that that's like the truth. It doesn't mean that it's worth really giving their opinion that much weight. I kind of genuinely most of the time look at like really crazy comments, and I that's how I see them. It's like they might have other problems. Like they might actually, you know, like, just why? Anyway. And then if you're like kind of on the other end of that receiving it, there's like, could potentially have those feelings of being critiqued and stuff. But it's really just that, like, bringing us back down to earth, that like not to take everything so personally or not to take everything so seriously. And like, sure, you probably still go through the whole emotional reaction or the processing of something that has happened or people have said or whatever. And it might still feel like shit. Like, it might still feel raw and it might be upsetting and it might still get us in our ego, and that's okay. But like, there's, you know, do we need to clap back? Do we need to, you know, any of that? So for some of you could be experiencing some sort of like tension, point of contention, like an argument or something. Yeah, hard to say with this group. I feel like there could be many things here that are sort of going on. Yeah, all right, we'll take more cards. There could potentially be a person around you that kind of likes like Egyptian decor, or I don't know what it is. Something about them liking Egyptian stuff that, or maybe it's not a person around you, it's just could be, this is who that person is. There's some sort of link with them with maybe Egypt in some way, and it's like, I don't know if they're like disingenuous or something. It's like I've started to talk about, and right as I have started to talk about it, it's kind of dropped off. So we'll keep that in the back of our mind as we go forward. They could just be doing a lot to keep you in your head, to keep you these words. I was going to say keep you busy, keep you unfocused, keep you kind of overanalyzing something, or to exhaust you or keep you going around your head. I'm getting quite a few reversals today, and I don't do reversals normally. I'm being sort of guided to keep them today, and my deck is usually upright. It's very, very rare that the cards are actually not upright, so it's even kind of weirder. Anyway, I'm going to go through and sort it as we're talking, but like, I don't know, it just seems unnecessary. There's something weird here about the talking. Somebody doesn't want to see the truth here. It's like being committed to misunderstanding, being committed to denying the truth, being committed to self-serving the ego, as opposed to the you know, having clarity in some sense. It's very much like self-serving confusion. it's almost like weaponized incompetence. Like, I couldn't possibly work that out. I couldn't possibly be that intelligent enough to know that that person never meant it that way anyway. So I kind of feel like at that point you probably need to take ownership of it if you are that person. And if you're on the other side of it, that is kind of the mentality that you are dealing with. And unfortunately, there are just people like that in this world, and it's kind of part and parcel of being here and being a person who has any like weight in anything that you say, is that there's always going to be someone to criticize it, and it shouldn't necessarily be shut down, because there's a lot of you know, healthy debate and like a lot of good information that can come out of people having difference in opinions. This is very much just like someone having a problem with another person having a difference in opinion, or a difference in recount, or something like that. Like, it's like, why can't both things just be true at the same time? Like, why? Someone here is totally just committed to not seeing the truth, and I can't say any other way. And so to give context to who that person could be, I feel like I have to say, I feel like it's this person kind of reacting to the original person who has said something. But then, you know, being that person who has said something, whether, you know, whatever that way was, that has somehow triggered this other person, it's like you could be feeling very much in your head about it. You could be like kind of analyzing it, like, well, you know, was what I said wrong? Was what I said harsh? Was what I said sort of like weirdly, you know, I don't know. It's like you could just be criticizing yourself and actually like exhausting yourself through doing it. You could potentially be just exhausted from whatever. I don't know how big this backlash was. I guess it depends on your experience, right? I just, if there's anything I could say, is if you are this person who has said something to it and somebody else has had sort of an allergic reaction to it, is to the best of your ability, take the blindfold off, in a sense of like just looking at something about the situation that's very obvious. It's like you've turned inwards, which is good, right? Because we all want to have integrity and check ourselves. But it's like, I feel like you did nothing wrong. And I feel like this integrity here, it's like you've internalized somebody's criticism over them having like an emotional backlash to an allergic reaction to something that you've said. And it's just, there's not much you can do about it. And what I would say is that if you are like a content producer in some way, don't read the comments. And if it's, I don't know what else, like, don't give that person weight in their opinion if it's just a person you see in the day-to-day. Maybe you don't have to engage in conversation with them. I feel like this person gives me the energy of wanting to draw you in, even though they come, it's like the original. It's really weird how this started for me, because it seemingly started off like very genuine, right? It was starting off like it was very like, no, I've been hurt before, I'm trying to protect myself, and I don't want to, like, you know, one scenario is here is that we have kind of two different groups within group one. So like for some, that first part's more true and the second part is more true. But I actually feel like for a lot of you, this person is actually being quite manipulative, and it's kind of part of that like imbalanced or unbalanced. I really need to look up what word it actually is. And they've decided that their best, like, I don't know, it's like they've used that as a front, which is really sad, because people who have like really experienced, they have experienced stuff, but it's like, they're kind of, it's like, what are they doing? They're making themselves a victim in a situation where there is no real victim. So it's like, yep, this person has really suffered bad experiences, but then they're still being manipulative and playing on people to kind of justify this like emotional reaction or this backlash that they're putting out there to other people when they feel a bit like, you know, hurt or something. Yeah. Okay. All right. I feel like now that we've got the bulk of that out, it's pretty simple. I'm going to take more cards and see what else we've got here, what we can kind of do with this. Where can we go from here? Because you know, this being the case, it's like, yeah, there's a lack of understanding maybe from both sides of it, but it's like the minute that somebody takes to this like manipulative kind of behavior to justify their actions or some sort of result that they want, whatever that is, it's like you've just lost. You've immediately lost. Like, there is no room for any kind of conversation that's going to actually be productive, or, you know, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Anyway, I am getting like a Libra energy here as well. So far we have Cancer and Libra. Let's see what else we get. For some of you, it's just like a part of this person's cycle that they're in, and there's not much you can do about that until they kind of learn their lessons, right? Okay, so you have teaching, withheld, and giving. Yeah, I think this is actually the universe teaching this person some sort of lesson through the way that they lash out at you. Which is really bizarre, because like I'm not sure what that would look like. For others of you, if you are the content creator, then maybe this is a way that you are kind of learning your lesson, is through you know, this backlash from this other person. So I'm not really, I want to say, because we have the world here, and the world is the card for Saturn, that it actually could be more of like a karmic thing as opposed to a lesson. But I mean, all things karmic are lessons, right? So maybe it's not like a very clearly defined lesson. Maybe it's not so directly related. Maybe there's a different type of lesson that we find here. I often find like, as a person who has strong Saturn in their chart, that Saturn is quite humbling. Okay, I just, and I mean that in the bigger picture of things. I don't mean that immediately in your kind of human experience. I mean like 10 years down the track, it works wonders for you, okay? All right, so what else do we have here? Teaching. I think part of it is just a realization that there are people out there like that, that it's like, it's so sad, because when someone has experienced really bad stuff and they're like genuinely a victim, probably like this person was the first time around, right? Then like you want their words to be given weight so that they can advocate for themselves and others in a meaningful way, right? To actually make a genuine impact. But when a person, just because they've been in this situation before, then kind of weaponizes it against other people, makes it really hard to trust people. It's like every which way I look at life, there's like people who are honest and people who are not, and it's almost impossible to tell the difference at times. Like, I feel like, you know, over time, a good level of discernment and judgment, a little bit of character building and experiences in life. I think if you are paying enough attention and a person says something to you, you could probably tell that they're lying if you're actually paying attention, and you've kind of, maybe if you know that person well enough, or maybe, I don't know, it's hard to say, because it's when we look at the world through our own lens, you know, like if you're a very honest person, then you might assume other people are more honest than they are, okay? Whereas if you're a person who does not tell the truth a lot, then you probably assume other people do not tell the truth a lot as well. And it's hard because, you know, sometimes our world can look very similar to our own kind of internal view, because it's like how we've built our world is based off the internal world, and vice versa. So take what resonates there, because I don't want the meaning to get too washed out. But some of you, this could be a person who you used to actually be really close with in some way, or you could have had a lot of good times with, or you could have celebrated something with, a sister or a sisterhood, something like that as well. But this person's actually been called on to a new beginning, and they're waiting for their time to come in, but they're still too busy being focused on you and crying over whatever the situation is that they feel like they've somehow been subjected to. Like, they feel, it's almost as if this person feels like when you said something, they feel offended by it. it's just, I don't know, man. It's just the way that it started out. It was very genuine. It was very sincere. And it's like the more we work through it, the more I look at it, the more I talk about it, I just feel like it's more manipulative and it's more cold and it's just more of a story being put on, which is really sad. So I don't know, guys. Look, yeah, Two of Swords again. It's just kind of where it ends. It just goes nowhere after that. I think if any of you are, I'm kind of getting something about if any of you are in your mind, I'm just going to lay that down. If you are in your mind going back and forth, like you need to find a way that you can lay down the two truths and make a decision that you can kind of happily coexist with regardless of what the two truths are. If, like, I'm saying that if you can't tell, like, you know, what, if you're not sure and it seems too nuanced and you don't really feel like you can't really say one person was right or wrong, maybe there's actually a good chance that no one is really right or wrong, okay? Something like that. And if there's a chance that you are not sure if somebody is sort of in their feelings as opposed to using their clarity, maybe you need to trust yourself. There is also like a bit of a message here for you to trust your intuition and trust your judgment. We actually had judgment was the next card after the Two of Swords. So yeah. But if you can find a way to make a judgment that you're at peace with on the chance, the small chance that you're wrong, because I feel like you're probably right. Yeah, I don't know. I think the most important part out of all of it is just acknowledging that we're humans and sometimes we get it wrong, okay? And so whatever side of that you're on, like, yeah, I guess, I don't know, we all start somewhere, even if that's not where we wanted to be, right? Going after other people is not the answer. All right, anyway, that's kind of everything that I have here today, Group 1. Hopefully this is helpful in some way, and I'll see you in another one. Okay, welcome in Group 2 if you chose the Five of Swords, and this will be your reading today. This is like who is the person that is scrutinizing you at the moment. So these videos are timeless. It doesn't matter when this video finds you. It should always work for you. I feel called to say that keep in mind with these videos that if you do come back to this video sort of in 6 months' time, you know, you could have different people coming through in the groups or feel drawn to a different group or something like that for a different scenario. So you can go back to the same pick a card time after time. Now, the first thing that I was getting here is that this person wanted to see you, like they wanted to teach you a lesson in some way. And I think it was kind of like they felt like they were trying to force you to harden up, or they wanted to force you to harden up in some way. So it's like a bit of a distorted energy of, say, a person who could potentially be like a caregiver in some way. And it's to a point where it's like the only way that the caregiver knows how to teach a lesson is to kind of put you through the paces from their own making, where they're the ones that set the stage, but little do we know they do it in such a way they can stitch you up where you never had a chance at winning in the first place, okay? So it's like whoever this person is, they don't have to be like a parental figure, obviously. This could be anybody. So even if they're just a person that you looked up to in a workplace, I mean, I want to kind of stay away from who this person could be, and just let the story tell itself and see if we get more come up. Yeah, whoever this person is, they're very calculated. It feels like they're very cut off from their emotions. It also feels like they're trying to force something, is probably like the biggest. It's like manipulative and forcing an issue. And potentially could be a bit aggressive as well in how they do it. Or even if they're not really aggressive, it's like they could just come off so cold or sharp that it still feels aggressive, right? Because like you wouldn't do that if you didn't have empathy. It's almost like antisocial, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, take what resonates there and we'll move forward. So this person, they definitely have like a very distorted lens in which they see the world. So they think ultimately for the highest good and the truth in their mind that they are doing you a favor. It's like it's like this person could be a little bit delusional potentially. I mean, I feel like they're delusional, but, take what resonates there. I think, they come from a loving place, but they don't realize, I don't know, I feel like this sort of happened a little bit in the last reading. It started off really nice and genuine, and it was kind of like this person putting their best face forward and trying to put out their intentions. And in some ways, I kind of believe it's true, where it's kind of like maybe their higher self wants to teach you a lesson because they do love you, but like the way that this person has contorted this image, and it's like through this distorted mindset and the way they've come out with it, how it kind of manifests through them in the world, it's like it takes on a cruel kind of experience. Like this person takes on a cruel like creator of this experience for you for something that was supposed to be coming from a place of love. So I feel when I look at this person, I have to be very skeptical. I have to be very factual. I feel like I have to really look at like what has and has not happened. Like things, I can't look at it through a lens of emotion. I have to look at it through a lens of black and white. There is a strong chance that if you don't recognize this person to be calculated, that they definitely are. I would not think that a person who is not calculated would ever pull something off like this, even by accident, okay? It could look that way on the surface, but it's definitely not what it would be. All right. Okay. I don't know why it's not going to be for everybody. There could just be a couple people here, but this person definitely could have like an auburn tinge to like their hair color or something. Or you could have that and your person might just have a different color hair. I'm not really sure. Or there could be like a specific fairness to the skin where there's like a red or pink kind of flushing to the skin. So again, could be you, not your person. Obviously only take what resonates, because I realize not everybody is that going to be. That's like a very specific message that's not going to hit for everyone. Okay, moving on. So this person, it's like they wanted to, I almost feel like they wanted to teach you a lesson through setting you up to fail, through trying to force you to take on some type of harder and character. Yeah, they like wanted to harden you up, but they kind of stitched you up through the so-called lesson they were teaching you, or they were teaching you a lesson by doing that. So it almost makes me think that this person had a bone to pick with you and they want to teach you a lesson. Okay, now there's something here that I do feel like consequently, through whatever the trials were that they put you through, I do feel like you actually genuinely will come out on top. So whether this is like on top on life, or on top of your situation, or on top of whatever this is, this trial that they put you through, or your relationship or something like that, I feel like I don't know, we have the 6 of Wands here, right? That is like success. It's overcoming the obstacles or the challenges, being recognized for it potentially as well. So, I guess we will see what will happen. But I also say there's like a courageous energy here. So I don't feel like it's just acknowledged and moved on from. I think there's something here where it's like, if no one else, spirit wants to acknowledge just how courageous you were in the situation that you were put in from this person who was really trying to scrutinize you hard. And so I don't know what it is that they did here. Maybe they used their scrutiny through some type of like position that was very important or impactful to you as a way to actually kind of teach this so-called lesson that they like, you know, it's like they've given themselves some type of higher power, authority, mentality. It's like they're perceiving themselves to be like all-knowing or higher, like as I don't know. It's like I don't think this person's like necessarily spiritual. They could be, but I don't think that they're sitting there using these words. I think they genuinely just know better than you, and it's for the greater good. Okay. So we have the Knight of Swords and the Hermit. I think the two things that will assist you through this time is just having the ability to see clearly, have as much information as you can, being objective and sticking to the facts. We talked about that already, but actually taking action on whatever it is that you need to do to kind of, I think it's, what is it? It's like, this person's putting you through the paces. I actually wonder with this group if you can actually keep up. I wonder if, even though they set you up to fail, you're successful anyway. And so, I mean, maybe they jig the game, but you play the game, and you, even though it was like rigged, you didn't fail anyway. Others of you, maybe you fail initially at this so-called game that they set you up with, but you actually win in the long run, or you win like in some other way. It's like you've found a way to kind of outmaneuver them here. Yeah, I think this group, you might be quite smart. But also something here about, you know, going within or withdrawing from whatever the situation was. Yeah. Maybe that could be part of it. For some of you, it was like taking that very action of stepping back from them and, yeah, withdrawing from the situation. Or going within. So just take what resonates there. For some of you, adventuring would be like a really good crystal to kind of work with. It's I just have, I don't know, it's not many pieces you can see, but it's kind of like a greener looking crystal. Anyway. All right, what else do we have? More cards. I feel like for this group that if this person is not just naturally kind of cruel in how they come off, there could also be something here that like maybe just this situation that they set you up in was very cruel. But there's also, I feel like this person would have the dawning realization after the fact that I think there's something here where it's like your success overcoming this situation or this challenge this time, it's like it dawns on them. It's like it almost teaches them a lesson here, something about the fact that they don't come out on top by doing this, and that they could have actually, I don't know if they watched you sort of suffer something like through their manipulation, or whether it was a case that they in turn lost something here. Like maybe just the sheer fact that you overcame this situation kind of like hit their ego or something. It might be that simple, I'm not sure. But it's like they're having a realization afterwards. For some of you, this is you having the realization. And it's very sad because you might have had your suspicions, but you weren't sure. Or maybe it's just I don't know, maybe it's something about like you already knew it is like it was what it was, but maybe there's some sort of realization here around how deep it ran. Maybe the fact that it seems like it came off more as a a set intention where they followed through on their goal, maybe, as opposed to something that was just kind of happened, or that they just reacted in the moment. It very much, yeah, something like that could kind of be upsetting here as well. Being told that that's everything. I don't know if some of you do have like animals around or something. Might be nice to keep you company in a kind of supportive nature. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry to hear, Groot, too. It's I do feel like you'd genuinely overcome this, and if you haven't already, you could currently kind of still be like in the trenches. So good luck to you all, and I'll see you in another video. Take care. Okay, welcome in Group 3. If you chose the Strength card, then this will be your reading today on who it is that is scrutinizing you. So I just want to call out a couple of zodiac signs real quick. We do have Leo, we do have water signs, particularly Cancer, and potentially Earth signs as well. So we'll move on. Getting started. So this person could be a leader, or they could be like a self-ordained leader or self-proclaimed leader. They could be very feminine, very graceful. Even if they're not feminine, there could be something that they attack about you that is feminine, or the way they attack you is in a feminine way. But I feel like they're very strong. I think they have a lot of fight or fire in them that they do have to hold back, but I don't feel like this is particularly courageous. It doesn't feel like it comes from that place of like standing up for what's right and being scared and being brave in the face of something and kind of just having to, you know, be courageous and do it anyway or fight the fight. It feels more like they're saving it for times where they can assert themselves or kind of dominate something here. And I think that this person, I don't really get any particular feelings here as to whether they would embody like a positive or a negative energy. It feels quite neutral, although it does feel quite stagnant. So it could still be perceived negative, but it's more of like a stagnancy here that something's born out of. And I think that they see something about you that they, I don't know, what is it like? It could be a mirroring being reflected back. It could be a strength. It could be a vulnerability. It could be a softness. It could be, if you are a person who holds space or is generally, it's like, it's weird because in a way this person would potentially, you know, belittle you in their mind or make a judgment in their mind of you being a person who has like softer qualities than maybe what they do, but there's like a type of strength that you have because of this, or in this, the same thing that they would potentially look down on in some way, because they're only valuing like some type of external strength or dominance here, as opposed to the ability to just embody your emotions. And so what that might look like is you actually being more composed, and it also could look like you having it's like chances of new beginnings and opportunities here that they have not had. And it's because you are willing to kind of embrace this part of yourself. And I think because of that, it kind of opens up the door with other people. And so I don't feel like it's done with any negative intent. I feel like it's very genuine, and you come about it very honestly. and that it's kind of part of your path, and in some ways you are to teach this person, even if they look at you through the lens of scrutiny. It's kind of usually the way it works, right? For some of you, this could be the other way around. A person who is a little bit softer in nature or more passive in some way could potentially be scrutinizing you over... They could potentially feel like a new beginning for them has been threatened by your presence in some way, because you are a little bit more, I don't know if it's like a more strongly spoken person, or if it's like your presence is strong, or because you do have more natural leadership type qualities here. Hard to say, so just take what resonates there, but... Going back to that sort of first scenario that I had, where I'm sort of talking about this person being like just wanting to kind of dominate scenarios, and you being... I think that the viewer here is probably this person with a softer, supportive, or more feminine aspect in some way. It's this person could scrutinize the way that you dress, the way you communicate. I feel like just actually most things about you in life. So it's like I think a lot of it's very surface level, surface driven. So yeah, looks, the way that you talk, because it's kind of how you present yourself. Even things like photos on social media, because they may have spent like a fair amount of time like put into kind of curating very specific photos and a very specific look or aesthetic or like lifestyle that they're trying to portray to people, whereas you could have just come by yours quite naturally, like whatever's there is just what's there, and you're not like worried about it too much. Others of you, it could be like the way that you do your makeup, if you wear makeup, or like I'm even getting like spray tan. So this person could be kind of paying attention to like the spray tan being like too orange or patchy or too dark for you. It's like they're making like weird little judgments. It's like they're looking down on you in some way for things that I feel like it just, I don't know, like it doesn't really hold weight. It's not really about you or your character. I think they would judge your personality or character it's not really character. It's like the way that you act and interact and how you talk to people and stuff. So it's like they're judging your personality, but it's like a very surface level experience or expression. So they might just make judgments that don't really... It would be the equivalent of like having met you once or twice and sort of hearing you say 2 sentences to a friend and then thinking that they know who you are without really knowing the whole picture. So there's that. I'm going to take another card or more cards. I do feel for some of you that maybe whatever it is that you do is kind of prevalent, or you're prevalent in your community or something like that. Or it could even be to do with something about your personality that's very prevalent, and this person is sick of it. It's like they're sick of hearing about it. So maybe if you are like a kind of supportive person or friend, this person could be, if you have mutual friends or mutual community members that you sort of talk to, they could be sick of hearing like how supportive you are. And if it's not that, they could be sick of like seeing you everywhere. They could be sick of how often you go to things. And what I mostly get is that they're sick of how much of the limelight you take up, and especially if you do it in a way where you don't fit the part that they had in mind, that they've kind of curated themselves to be that specific way. So there's that. Some of them, I think they're trying to kind of inadvertently manifest you guys to come together a little bit, be a little bit closer or something, because it almost gives me a mentality of like, if you can't beat them, join them, where it's like, well, everyone else is friends with, you know, group 3, so I want to be friends with group 3 as well. Even though I'm scrutinizing them over all these things, it's like, well, I guess the least I can do now is, you know, try to make it work in a way that I'm not scrutinized for not being friends with them or something like that. Anyway. Okay. Some of them may actually think that you do like weird witchy energy worky things that, or like ritualistic things that you don't like they just kind of think up in your mind that you're like out here doing all this stuff to sort of put them in some sort of position or holding pattern to like stagnate them. It's like they're trying to say you're the reason that they're stagnant. That's part of the scrutiny. It's like, I'm stagnant, and I don't know where they got this idea from that you're like doing stuff. So unless you're a person who is kind of out there and open creating content, or you're like really well known in a particular community for things that are of that nature, then I don't understand where they've pulled that from. Others of you, it's almost as if they're just like concocting stories up out of their imagination, and just like they've got nothing else to really go off, so they're running off that. Like, it's their truest experience of you is through imagination, which, you know, obviously they haven't had a lot to do with you in person, face to face, or like up close, or like through an actual conversation or over time. So what else do we have here from the player to the other? Oh no, I think this person could be getting a little bit of a look at this point in time where things currently are at for you, or where you're at, or like how you may have sort of become part of who you are, maybe why you embody some of these, like, I don't know, features that you have. Some of them, it's like a really deep endearment, and they just kind of want to either, it's like some of them, the scrutiny comes from this like feeling distant to you and wanting a relationship or a type of closeness, whereas others, it's like they're just seeing you from the ground up, and it's really hard to understand why people up on the hill are doing the certain things they're doing, but you don't realize from the ground that up on the hill it's really windy, and you need to, like, I don't know, stop yourself from falling over the edge and things like that. So I'm not really sure, just take what resonates there. It's a bit of a funny example, but I do feel for most of them it actually comes from a place of like it's like endearment. It's like they actually think quite highly of you, and it's because they think so highly of you. They could be a person who is used to, I don't know if it's used to criticism from others, or if it's just because they know they criticize other people so much. It's kind of like that thing with judgment, where it's like, if sometimes when people are like really judging others, it's just because they're experiencing a really strong type of internal judgment. And so that could be something that's happening with this person. Yeah. Anyway. All right. What do we got? So this group's like making me tired. So tired of the same old shit. Okay. So we also have Capricorn and Sagittarius here as well. So it's like fire signs, earth signs, water signs. Okay. I think that this person could have like made a judgment call of when you were going through a particularly hard time. And so it's like everything to them that they think is your personality is just like part of, I guess, the external manifestation of what it was like for you going through that. So maybe you could have been really mopey over the time that they've known you, but it's like, and they think that you're just a mopey person, but you're not a mopey person. You're actually going through really challenging, hard times. And I think that you're actually like probably a lot smarter than what they would give you credit for. I think you're a lot better judge of character. You have better discernment and a better vision for, and a better eye for like reading in between the lines than what this person would give you credit for. I don't even know if they realize this about you. Like I said, it does feel like a bit more of a shallow judgment. I feel that, like, we've already said it several times, and I feel the need to keep kind of reiterating that. So you may not realize, it may feel like you've been harshly critiqued here, and there's a good chance that you have been. But it's like Spirit wants to remind you that it was quite a shallow judgment or a shallow call, or whatever this is, however it's come about. It's like this person doesn't actually know you as well as they think they do, or they just don't know you that well at all anyway. There's also something here where it's like, I think this person, yeah, it's like they think you're more manipulative than you are or something. So they may see these lovely qualities that you have and just think that you do it to kind of get somewhere, or that it's like a trick, or that you're going to suck them in some way, and then they'll potentially feel helpless, and then because of that, it's like they want to deem you toxic, and it's like taking on a life of its own, and then they're getting stuck in their head, and it's kind of like a whole negative rumination sort of spiraling cycle here that they're going through while they're overthinking all of these things that are really not reflective of much of what you are. Yeah, there's a chance here that this person could be kind of spiritual as well, where they like fancy themselves to be an integrated person who can kind of embody like the light and the dark as well. I don't know, maybe they are in a lot of ways, but maybe this is like their sort of undoing, because it's like hard for them. Maybe they struggle with kind of balancing specifically like the fire and the water aspects within themselves, and it might be like the one thing that you're good at. And so even if they are generally pretty well integrated, there's something about you that it's like they don't recognize what it is on the surface, and they have to try to imagine what it could be because they don't understand it, because they don't embody that themselves. So anyway, we don't need any more cards for this one. So that's everything I have for you today, group 3. Hopefully this is helpful in some way, and I'll see you all in another one. Take care. Okay, welcome in group 4. If you chose the 8 of Cups, then this will be your card or your group reading today for who is scrutinizing you. As soon as I like pulled the first card, I started hearing like that Craig David song that's like, I'm walking away from the troubles in my life. I'm actually not going to link songs anymore unless I feel called to, just because I'm getting to a point where it's like too hard to keep track of them when too many come out, and I like end up forgetting to link them anyway. So by all means, if you have a question in the comments or about who it is, I can just comment and ask, and like with some sort of like memory jogger for me, and I'll come back and find out for you. Anyway, so yeah, who this person is that is scrutinizing you. For some of you, there could be a connection to group 1 here for you with the person on the other side of this. Just take what resonates, and I'd probably only go there if you felt called to. But otherwise, let's see. Okay, so some of you could have felt like this person... Oh no, wait, is it that they felt like that, or is that what's happened? No, that's what's happened. Okay, so for some of you, this person could have walked away from you. They could have like walked away from the relationship, friendship, connection, whatever it is. And you could have seen them shut off to you emotionally. And when you did have communication with them, there's an element here where you could tell that it was more well thought out, and it maybe there was like less emotion, less friendliness, less jokes, it's like less warmth. There's like more of just like communicating about the absolute necessities of the situation, probably quite bare minimal, and anything that they would say, they don't really want to say too much or too little. They're just saying just enough. Okay, what else do we have here? I feel like all my cards are on an angle. Always happens. Okay, 7. We have Seven of Swords and Seven of Wands. So it's like typically like one person being strategic and one person trying to protect themselves. And so you could have felt like this person was doing both, like being strategic in the way that they protected themselves, or being strategic because they couldn't, or I don't know. It's like, yeah. I think for some of you, this could have actually been something that you did, like you found it necessary to be strategic to protect yourselves in some way, and it could have been part of what put this person on a path to walk away. But just take what resonates here. Yeah, it could have caused a lot of hurt, sorrow, worry and pain, anxiety, nervousness, sleepless nights, distress. I feel like the list goes on here, but the more I talk about it, the more painful it might be for you. You could still be in healing stage. There is also Aquarius energy here as well. So we have Cancer and Aquarius. But there's... You could be going through a healing phase, but this person could also be going through like a healing phase. And something about the strategy could have been like quite harmful to them, or cause them some type of wound that they now have to heal from. But it's in some ways redirected them back on their path, in alignment with where they are meant to be at. So in some ways, it ended up actually being a blessing to them. Yeah. And I don't know. I just want to remind you guys, you could be on either side of this, right? So I'm talking to you as if you're experiencing a person walking away from you. Chances are because you could have been strategic in the way you tried to protect yourself, or vice versa. But some of you could have been the person who did walk away, okay? So just keep that in mind as we go forward. But it's like, who's scrutinizing you? It's like some of these people don't like the amount of choices that you've got. So it's like you may have a lot of choices available to you that they do not. Like a comparable amount of choices. And they may feel like the choices they have, not only are they limited, but they really have to work for them, and they have to put themselves sort of through the test. Whereas they feel like the choices you have are just kind of fancy-filled, wonderful, like endearing, like thought-provoking, I don't know what I'm trying to say, joyful moments in life. Like they're things, they could be fun even, they could be things that you actually want to do. So it's like this person seeing your choices, like you having all these choices, and there's so many good choices, and they only have two choices to do what they're doing or make a change, and they don't want to make a change, and they're actually, it's like they're scrutinizing you over the fact that you have so many choices right now. But I don't think that they've seen where you had to come from to get to where you did. But I mean, that's their problem, right? Anyway. Okay, let's see what else we got. Yeah, some of you could be in a better position now. Some of you could have actually found yourself in a better position because you chose to sort of protect yourself from this person. So it's like... Some of you walked away from something that this person never thought you would have, where it was like they thought that they could strategize all they want, and that they had protected themselves well enough, and that they were well thought out enough that no matter how much you didn't like it, you would stay anyway, because it was kind of like they had the key to the castle or something like that. But I don't know. If this person walked away from you, you could be seeing them inherit something or enjoying a very abundant life. I don't even know if they, like, some of them could have inherited something, sure, but some of them may not have had any type of inheritance come through. They could actually just be enjoying very simple things like their health and their community. Yeah. And it feels like that would almost be worse in a way. It would be kind of cutting for you, because it's like it's not even anything that you like, it's kind of everything and nothing at the same time. I think that might be part of it. It's like this person didn't need money to sort of enjoy life or something like that. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna see what else we got. I'm gonna take more cards. Oh, I just had one pop out. Okay, 2. Yeah, so we have 7 of Pentacles and 4 of Pentacles. This person could be trying to grow something and it's not really coming up the same way that yours is or was. So this person, for some of you, could be trying to do the same thing that you have done before. And if it is not the same, it doesn't have to be. It's just that they are now trying to grow something and it's not working out the way that they want it to. And they're now feeling like they actually have to stop trying to grow it because it's not being fruitful in any way at all. And so they're maybe trying to hold on to something here where it's kind of run its course. There's also an essence here of like this person, they may have felt like you owed them something and that they never really received like the fruits of their labor. What else do we have here? This person could have felt like they put a lot into you just for you to walk away, just so that they could feel like, I don't know, what is that? To make them feel insecure, yeah. Like, I don't know. But for a lot of you, I feel like this is something that you tried to work at for a long time, and potentially either this person's insecurity did get in the way, and if it wasn't that, it was their inability to let go of things that really probably didn't hold so much like weight. I'm not sure. I might try taking one more card and seeing what else we get. All right, we've had a few come out. Let's go, all 3. When you left, if you are the person who's walked away here, you could have experienced more peace. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Like, whoever you are in this situation, whether you're this person that walked away, whether this other person walked away from you, when you came into separation, you could have experienced more peace. And that's something that this person wants to scrutinize, and they want to say that it was you, that like you're the reason they had no peace, okay? Like you were chaotic or something like that. And so there's also something here, I'm almost getting like monkey, was it like see, hear, do type of thing, where this person could have felt like they like taught you something, but they were blind to their own learning and receiving of knowledge from you. It might not be that at all. They may feel like you had all the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding, you'd already done the learning, and that when you walked away, they lost that sort of shortcut to the learning or to the knowledge in some way. Some of them, they just don't flat out want to learn, and it might surprise you with this person that they almost seem like a little bit adverse to learning because they don't want to put effort in because it seems too hard for them, but really they're just ignorant in some way. So it feels like I'm making very bold statements here. So I would only take what resonates with what you already know to be true, unless it's like just like an opinion that you have of this person but you agree with it. Then I would say, yeah, if it resonates, I guess if the shoe fits, you know, wear it. But also be discerning during your readings as well, okay? I just want to take a moment and see if there's like anything else here that I'm getting. So this person could be scrutinizing like the type of knowledge that you have or the way that you came about your knowledge. They could be trying to say that like maybe you did take shortcuts to sort of learn the things that you did, or that it's maybe not like the highest knowledge. Like, I don't know, what am I trying to say? Like, it might not be, they may think you know more than you do. Like, they may think group 4 thinks they're so intelligent and they know all this stuff about all this stuff, but really they don't know anything. And it's almost like they actually know some of it to be true, but they just want to reject what it is that you have to say. So it's something here where it's like you could have genuinely been like a teacher to them and they're just not interested. Whereas like others, they actually it's like they would kind of delude themselves into thinking that that is the case, when it's like, I don't know, like a bit of mirroring going on. It's a bit of a weird energy here. It's like the more I sort of pull cards and look into it, the more confused I get. And so what I would say is that there's actually something here reflective of this, where it's like this person is trying to scrutinize you from a place where they actually lack a lot of clarity. Where it's like maybe in the earlier stages they kind of had clarity and they're like trying to be strategic and stuff, but it's like something here, it's like the more time that they spend on this, it's like the less they understand. I don't know. It's like this person makes me think they could be driving themselves kind of crazy trying to work this out. Like it doesn't even, I wonder for some of you if I'm talking to the wrong person here. Like maybe you're this person where it's like you're going through this very confusing time trying to work out what is and what isn't. You didn't understand something that happened. You could have thought that it was strategic when it wasn't, or vice versa. Maybe you didn't think it was strategic and then it turned out it was. At this point, there's so much going on here. I feel like it's like a very clouded kind of moon energy where it's like, it's not even things that are like hidden. It's things that are like not understood. It's like maybe that something that has a shadow over it and you don't really understand it until you're in a different position where you've got better lighting, and then when you see more of the picture you'll understand it better then. Yeah, I don't know. So just take what resonates here for you, because this could be a lot of different things for a lot of different people, and don't go trying to make anything fit that doesn't. So I feel like with this group we might do a quick little sage just to help clear up some of this. And I might, after I do the sage, I'll see if I can get more or whether they want us to end it. But it's, I feel like at this point, if I keep going down that same path, it's not going to be helpful for anyone. And that's not the point of this, right? Whew. Love good sage. All right, let's see. It's going to take, yeah. The High Priestess jumped out. I'm going to put it back for now and see if it comes out again. But this person could think they know things that they don't, or vice versa. Like you could be in a position of thinking that you're kind of receiving some sort of like hidden information that's not easily accessible, but it's like maybe something about it is inauthentic. I see a person here trying to make something work. Maybe, I don't know, do some of you have a child with this person and you like want to make up with them, but they are angry at you, or they like hate, there's a lot of hate or anger, or there's resentment, or there's like a bitterness, or there's a jadedness, there's maybe even like I poured everything into you and now you're trying to make up with me or say sorry or trying to bring in some sort of peace offering, even if it's just to be civil. And it's like, I don't want a bar of it because you already, whatever this was that's played out has already happened. And for some of you, there could have been a person here who was like, the more I go, the more situations I'm getting. So it's like, there could have been 3 people involved. There could have been 2 people and a person kind of on the outside that was like manipulative, that either tried to insert themselves. And if they didn't try to insert themselves, they kind of like to be like a wedge that would sort of come between you and push you apart. If it wasn't that, they could have just been like a really manipulative person where like maybe they just sort of, whoever it is that they talk to, or however they come in here, could have been saying things that weren't true to try to get somebody here in their head, so that when they were making decisions and judgment calls about how they would move forward, they were kind of coming from a place of insecurity or fear, or like thinking that they had this like bit of insight into this other person's side that actually wasn't true. It was actually false this whole time. And if it wasn't that, this person could have said things that were very cloudy or confusing to purposely kind of, like muddy the waters. Like it's like they wanted to purposely confuse people. They wanted to purposely stop people seeing clearly. Okay. Some of you, so, if there was like a couple in a relationship, there could have been a child involved. For others of you, you know, somebody here wanted to be the favorite, and they were very ambitious and willing to kind of do whatever they could to be the favorite, and they wanted to just like take up the spotlight, and they just wanted to be like, I oh so candidly accidentally fell into the spotlight. Meanwhile, it was absolutely like, you know, I was so opportunistic in every way I went about it, and now I'm just here and look at me, and don't I look so lovely, and I really want you back in my life. Can't you just come back in my life? I love you. Sorry. Thank you. That's very disingenuous. Whereas others, it's like you moving on and being the person who was the favorite was enough for this person to realize or recognize that they actually really love you and kind of want you back. Or if they don't want you back, they realize something here where it's like they don't realize how much you meant to them until this played out in some way. So many situations here with group 4. Please be discerning with this one. Hopefully it resonates for you. If it does, definitely let me know in the comments. But yeah, take care, guys. I'll see you in another one.